welcome to Morning Trade with Moneycontrol in association with M-Stock by Mirae Asset. I'm Karunya Rao and I'm here to help you navigate today's trading day with actionable strategies, sectoral trends and most importantly, your queries during the course of the show. So guys, please keep commenting on our live YouTube feed. We'll have them addressed by our technical expert on the show. But before bringing her on board, let's take a look at what the global handover looks like. Momentum is intact in key global markets. European stocks moved higher yesterday, continuing a recovery seen at the start of the week. Stoxx 600 index closed about 0.4% higher, pairing earlier gains of more than 1%, however. Auto climbed about 1.5% to lead the gains. Wall Street rallies even as investors did continue to assess a more hawkish Fed and risks of a global recession. The broad-based comeback follows weeks of selling. All major indices surged with over 2% gains. S&P 500 posted its best day this month. Asian markets this morning, however, are trading mixed. Nikkei gave up early gains. Kospi is underperforming with more than 1% decline. Markets in mainland China trading along the flat line. Australia is, however, up in trade. SGX Nifty also pointing to a marginally weak open for the India markets. Let's talk technicals with Shivangi Sarda of Motilal Oswal Financial Services. Good morning, Shivangi. What is the trade setup looking like?
Good morning and welcome. So we've seen that Nifty, it opened positive yesterday and we've seen a rally. It started the day above its hurdle of 15,400 and rallied by almost 300 points, nearing 15,700. We can see supports are now shifting higher. After two consecutive days of doji, we saw a good bullish candle yesterday, which is quite positive. The only concern is that volatility is still at its higher zones, although it did cool off from the last two sessions, but it needs to further come down for a complete charge of the bulls. And we've seen that PCR levels, the put-call ratio levels, have also improved, which suggests that put writers are making their base, which is quite positive. So medium-term trend is positive, is still, turning positive is still in pressure. But short-term trend is definitely turned positive. So we can, use any decline as a buying opportunity. Until it holds above 15,500, Nifty can move up to 15,888 zones. And supports can be seen at 15,400 levels.
So do you see the markets turning from a sell-on rally to a buy-on dip market?
So as I mentioned, that medium-term trend is still in pressure, but the short-term trend has turned, in favor and it's positive. So any small bounce can be used as an opportunity, and I believe that there will be a little upside potential in the market before it melts down.
Okay, all right. Let's also talk about some individual stocks also that are likely to be in focus on back of some corporate news flow. Now, I want to flag off first Hero MotoCorp. They've launched a Euro 5 compliant variant of 3 products in Turkey. They've launched Xpulse 200 4V motorcycle and Dash 110 and Dash 125 scooters. So Turkey market is something that they have been already present in for the last 7-8 years and looks like they're expanding their offerings there. But if we look at the technicals of a Hero MotoCorp, last 3 months, I think since March lows of 2200 odd, the stock has slowly been able to climb up to that 2500 level. Now the question is, will it be able to sustain this momentum or will it see some more volatility before it stabilizes?
So looking at the chart structure of Hero MotoCorp, we have seen that, it has been making lower highs from the last 4 to 5 weeks, which is concerning. But we can see that overall in the daily time frame, the stock has made a doji and then, it can be seen follow-up buying can be seen over here. And I believe that, if it holds above 2500 levels, which is above its 50 exponential moving average on daily frame, it can see a good positive momentum and it can drive higher towards 2600 levels. But again, the weekly structure is still in pressure, so there will be a little, short-term bounce.
Okay. The second stock I'd like to flag off is Astral Limited. They are looking to expand quite a bit in their paints business. In fact, we had done an MC Pro report also last week wherein we were talking about how different players are entering the paints business. Astral is no different. They acquired a company called Gem Paints and now they are sort of appointing directors on the board of Gem Paints and Isha Paints. So it looks like it's something that they're focusing on in a big way, and they have perhaps big plans as well going forward. This is all we know for now, but Astral, phenomenal 5% uptick the stock has seen yesterday, but 1 month trend has been largely range bound. So talk to us about what do you foresee on the chart?
So looking at Astral, we've seen quite a short covering move yesterday. But again, when I look at the weekly chart frame, it is still under pressure and it is moving in a very consolidated manner within a very narrow range. And it is not being able to surpass 1750 levels if we see on a medium term basis. So I feel, follow-up buying should be there. But we've seen, even in previous times in this stock, follow-up buying has been missing, because of which the momentum has been lost. So if now follow-up buying can be seen, then the stock will be in momentum, or else it will likely be to move in a consolidated manner.
Okay. The third stock which we want to highlight is Som Distilleries, a small cap name. Some commentary is coming in there from the management. They've said that their brand Hunter has seen the highest market share among premium beer manufacturers in the month of May in Madhya Pradesh. In fact, their mainline beer brand Hunter has a market share of 55% in this particular category, the premium beer segment in the state of MP. So, good positive commentary coming in there. But let's talk about the technicals, because once again this stock has not done much for its investors, whether you look at the 1 month chart, the 3 month chart, or year to date. So what is it that people who are still invested in the counter should look out for?
So when I look at this chart structure, it is giving quite a mixed cues. It is likely to be in a range bound manner. Of course, there had been interest recently, but I feel we can avoid this stock for now.
Okay, so it's an avoid on Som. Shivangi, request you to stay on with us. We just want to talk to one of our colleagues on the latest updates when it comes to SEBI's approval to mutual fund houses to invest in global equity markets. Jash Kriplani, who's been tracking the story very closely, is on board with us. Good morning, Jash. Talk to us about what headroom are mutual funds getting, first of all, to make these overseas investments.
Yeah, hi Karunya, good morning. So Karunya, essentially, if you recall, MFI had in February, they had come up with an advisory for mutual funds, international mutual funds, that they won't be able to make any fresh investments in overseas stocks. This was because they had nearly reached the ceilings that were there earlier. Now what SEBI has advised MFI, and MFI has sent this letter to advisory to all the mutual funds, that is, now they can invest in overseas stocks, but to the extent of the overseas stocks they have sold due to redemptions. So that headroom they have right now. Okay. So yeah, that's the headroom that they have. And
so how are different mutual fund houses looking to use this headroom? What is likely now?
Right. So different fund houses will be using this differently. Not all fund houses have actually sold many overseas stocks since February. So they really don't have headroom. For example, Parag Parikh Mutual Fund is one such fund house which will not be able to invest any new flows in international markets. Then, there is Motilal Oswal also, which has not sold so many shares in overseas markets. So even they won't be able to accept any flows in that sense. And yeah, see, there are then, a bunch of fund houses that have the headroom and they are going to use it. There is Edelweiss Mutual Fund, ICICI Mutual Fund, and Nippon. So these will be, buying international stocks, as well as have now opened the, schemes and are accepting flows. Sorry, one more mention would be of Mirai Mutual Fund. Now, Mirai Mutual Fund has taken it slightly differently. They are going to be investing in international stocks. They have reopened their schemes, but given the limited headroom they have, what we hear is 200 odd crore. They are going it in a cautious manner. They are saying that we'll accept flows, but we'll only accept lump sum flows to the extent of 2 lakh per day per investor per scheme.
Okay.
So yeah, that's where. Yeah.
Jash, I want to ask you the most important and most basic question. How will this benefit investors? In fact, we're already getting a question on our feed as well, wherein one of the viewers is asking which mutual fund is suitable to invest in US stocks after the SEBI announcement. Any names that come to your mind when it comes to investing in US-centric stocks, and overall how the move is going to benefit investors?
See, when it comes to investors per se, investors who have already built positions in these schemes, they will, in the sense, benefit because US markets have corrected. So they will be able to, average their costs down going ahead. And also, investors who have not so far built positions, they can consider some of these schemes to build their international portfolio. One thing to remember is that the headroom may not be much for any of these schemes. So we don't know how long this will last. As far as, a scheme that will be suitable is, investors should look at, when it comes to US or international funds, it's always better to look at a passive scheme of an index, which is a well-diversified index. Because if you go with an actively managed fund, you have the fund manager risk. So I would suggest, go with one of those, say S&P 500 sort of an index-based fund. That would be a good way to, start your international journey.
Okay. All right, Jash. Thank you so much for joining in and giving us the latest update and more details about what it means when SEBI allows mutual fund houses to once again start investing in overseas market. All right, Shivangi is still there with us, so let's take it across to her. We have a few queries lined up, which you could perhaps try and answer. Shivangi, Narendra Solanki has texted us and he wants to know your view on Adani Power. Last 3 months have been quite impressive if we look at the stock move. Almost actually more than double in the last 3 months. So talk to us about Adani Power and if it's a prudent idea to invest at current levels.
So looking at the chart structure of Adani Power, it is currently, trending downwards on the, shorter time frame. And I feel, there is, follow-up buying is missing over here in this stock. And it might move, a little more down. So we can wait for a little more dip to again, look for an opportunity to buy here in this stock.
Okay. All right, next query is from Raj Kumar. He wants to know about IOC. What is it that you foresee on the technicals?
So looking at chart structure of IOC, it has negated its lower highs of the last few sessions on daily frame, and a short-term bounce can be seen over here. So if you talk about near term, we can see a targets of 110, 112 over here. But of course, we maintain a strict stop loss of around 100 zones, and we can see the weekly chart structure is kind of turning in this scenario. So it will be like a make or break levels at this level. But of course, positive action can be seen here.
Okay. Next up is a query from Milind Kulkarni. He wants your view on Ultratech Cement, and largely last 1 month has been rather sluggish for this counter. So is there any meaningful upside that one can expect in the near term, or is this going to be a trend that could continue for another couple of months?
So looking at Ultratech Cement chart structure, it has, near its previous week's high zones, which indicates that, somewhere buying can be seen over here with a good positive action over here. But the only concern is that volumes are a little shallow over here. So I'm expecting a little more, follow-up buying over here so that, the stock can build momentum move up to 5,500 levels. But of course, if the stock has volumes and OI built up, then only the stock will be able to strengthen up.
The next stock we'd like to talk about is Tata Elxsi. Shubham Srivastav wants your view. He's asking it for intraday, but we'd like you to share your view for the short to medium term as well. Tata Elxsi is one counter which is almost back to the same levels where it was perched at 3 months ago. So what is it that the investors or potential investors should expect?
Yes, so Tata Elxsi was one of the favorite picks of everyone a few months back.
Yeah.
But we saw quite a lot of consolidation and a downfall recently in the last 2 weeks. But of course, if we talk about intraday, I feel the stock is still going to be in pressure. And medium to short term, I believe there is going to be a little slight more dip over here, and we can expect a little 6,900 levels. I feel, and then it'll maybe bounce back to higher zones.
Okay. Z Entertainment is also something that, a lot of viewers ask us about often. Arnav Sharma has written to us and asking if Zeal is poised for a swing as price has bounced back from the support area. So looks like he is, tracking the technicals very closely. But what is it that you would like to recommend?
Yes, so looking at Z, of course, it's bounced back from its previous support zones. And the way the volumes have spiked up and RSI is also moving in the positive zone, which indicates that positive action can be seen over here. Some sort of positive divergence can be seen. So I believe the stock is going to move, higher up to a good 230 levels if we talk about short term. And we could maintain a stop loss of 218 levels.
Okay, all right. Exide Industries last couple of sessions have been fairly good, but overall, what is the trend looking like? Mitesh Rane wants your view for the long term.
So looking at this chart structure, I believe there is still kind of a consolidation phase, which is it is going to be in, and I believe we could kind of avoid this stock for better stocks, because usually what we've seen in this stock is that momentum fizzles out quite easily, so we could wait here.
Equitas Small Finance Bank, Arkajyoti Saha has written to us, and they want to know your opinion on this counter. Largely, the move has been one-sided, and that's been towards the south. So, talk to us about the trend. Is the weak or consolidation phase likely to continue here as well?
So looking at Equitas, the weekly chart structure is quite negative, and we've seen that the resistances have been shifting lower consistently in this stock, with absolutely no buying seen at any declines. So I feel this stock is still going to be in pressure and continue to be in consolidation phase.
It's been a rather weak year for the entire IT pack, whether it's blue chip companies like TechM, Infosys, or whether it's the mid-cap IT space. Sai Reddy has written to us, and he has made a 22% loss in his portfolio on Tech Mahindra, and he wants your advice on what to do next. Should he buy at current levels, which, would it be a good idea? He's not really mentioned at what point did he invest, but 22% loss is already something he's incurred.
So looking at Tech Mahindra, of course, the entire IT space had taken a lot, hit, and we saw mid caps as well as large cap stocks had beaten down a lot because of all the global issues as well, and dollar index. But we can see some sort of relief over here and some sort of reversal. So I believe we could wait here, because the stock has turned from a good zone, and buying can be seen over here at lower zones. So I believe these stocks, looking at the other mid cap IT stocks as well, and Coforge and all that stocks are picking up strength. So I believe this stock Tech Mahindra is also going to pick up strength along with the pack and move to 1100 levels for the immediate term.
Okay. Imtiaz Malik wants your advice on Bandhan Bank's momentum. This one as well, once again, back to the same levels it was trading at 3 months ago. So not much has happened if one was invested completely in the last 3 months. Talk to us about the future forecast here.
So, looking at Bandhan Bank, I don't believe this stock is a very good pick over here. So, we've seen quite a lot of swings over here, and the way it downtrended yesterday, it just shows that the strength has been lost in the last 2 days. So, I believe we could avoid this stock and move to better stocks.
Okay. What is your overall sense on cap good space? Naveen has written to us, whether it's L&T, Schneider, Siemens perhaps. Any of these names that look attractive?
So looking at this entire pack, of course, L&T is looking good, but it has moved from its lower zones. But I believe there is still some sort of a momentum lacking over here. Even the RSI is not really showing a very positive sign right away. So I think we could stay out of this pack right at the moment, and then enter in it when it picks up momentum. Right now we can see a lot of action in other sectors, so we can utilize that.
Okay, let's talk about SAIL. Rishi Chauhan has written to us and he wants your intraday view. But overall, what is the trend telling us about SAIL? Because this has been one of the worst casualties of the metal sell-off that we saw in the recent past. Will it or could it meaningfully pick up from here on?
So looking at SAIL, this stock has seen quite a sell-off from the last few months, and I believe the stock is still going to be under pressure, and there is no sign of reversal at the moment.
Okay. Quick question before we move on to your picks. Your view on Castrol India. This is a stock that we get repeat queries, almost on a daily basis. So if you could quickly tell us what the chart looks like.
So this stock has been consolidating, from the month of February, and there has been no kind of movement over here. It is moving in a very narrow range, in a volatile manner. So I believe this stock is a avoid right now.
Okay, all right. Well, we've talked about a lot of stocks that one should stay away from or which are looking weak on the technicals. But what about stocks which look attractive? What would you like to recommend?
So my first pick for today would be from the banking space. We've seen quite a lot of strength in the private banking space. And my pick here would be ICICI Bank. It's negated its lower highs, lower lows of the last 2 weeks. And we've seen that, it is turning from its previous support zones of around 670. So the stock is holding well, from the last 3 sessions as well, and strength in this entire index will drive the stock. I believe it should move up to 725 zones. We could maintain a stop loss of 680 levels.
Okay, is that it, or any other stocks that you have on your watch list?
So my another pick would be from the FMCG space, which is ITC. It has given a breakout of the falling supply trendline on daily scale, and it formed a bullish candle on its 20-day exponential moving average, which indicates good buying interest over here. And we've seen that sustained, strength in this stock, even despite the market fall and weakness. And I believe, because of the positive news in the entire FMCG space, it has gained quite a lot of momentum. And I believe the stock could move up to 280 zone. So we could buy this stock, with a stop loss of 265. I have one more pick which I would like to share, which is Sun TV, which is given a range breakout on a weekly frame, and it closed above its 50 exponential moving levels on daily frame. It's also surpassed its previous hurdles of 449 zones, and it's holding well above that, which is quite positive. So I believe the stock could go and touch 465 zones. So we could recommend a buy here with a stop loss of 438.
All right, Shivangi. Well, it's a pleasure chatting with you as always. Thank you for answering so many queries. I'm sure our viewers are must be content today as they go into the trading session. But that's all we have in this edition of Morning Trade. So stay tuned. Markets with Santo and CJ comes up next.